So, I just came home from watching Terminator Salvation, and I gotta say, it was great. But it could have been greater. Given a different director, probably someone better, We're talking about beating a dead horse, but everything that I'm going to say that was bad about this movie, I have to blame on McG, Mr. Charlie's Angels, the guy who made Charlie's Angels, or directed Charlie's Angels, the same guy who directed this movie, or more like the guy who directed this movie was the same guy who directed Charlie's Angels, and those are pretty bad movies. Hot Girls were pretty bad movies. By all means, I enjoyed it. I just thought it could have been better. I started Terminator. I started my life with Terminator at Terminator 2. I actually started Terminator before I even started Aliens or Predator. I haven't been a fan of it since after Terminator 2. Anything after that, the Sarah Connor Chronicles, I didn't watch. Terminator 3, I didn't watch. By all means, don't watch it. It was a hiccup. If you were going to count the 4 movies, Terminator 3 would be like the outcast, and that was the movie that totally crushed the franchise. Terminator 4 was supposed to try to pick up from that. I have to say it did. It was better than the third. I didn't see it, but all over YouTube there's scenes of it, and it just doesn't add up. Anyway, let's get to this talking about this movie. The plot was, I understand the plot. It was a good plot, but like I said, everything I'm gonna say could have been executed a lot better. That's all I have to say about the plot. The actors, let's see. You have Christian Bale, who just did Dark Knight. Honestly, I've seen better. He did a good John Connor role, but like I said, McG. If it wasn't for his directing, I'm sure Christian Bale would have had a better chance at acting a lot better in this movie as John Connor. I feel like there was so much he could have said, so much he could have done in this movie, it just didn't happen. So Christian Bale in this movie, as good as an actor he is, failed. But that's not his fault. There's also Sam Worthington, who plays the what's his face? I don't know his name. Jeez, the other guy. Jeez. The other, whatever he is. Marcus. There you go. Marcus Wright. How can I even forget? It's part of my name. Marcus Wright. He plays Marcus Wright. I think he did a good job. I think he pulled his role off a lot better than Christian Bale pulled off his limited role. Who else did a good job? Whatever the kid's name is, who played Kyle Reese, John Connor's father, he did a pretty good job of doing that. Hell, the little girl couldn't talk. Well, sorry if that was a little spoiler, but the little girl, she doesn't even talk. And I think she did a good job of her acting. There was just so much that this movie could have done better. I could go on with CG. Well, the CG was awesome. I have to give that. CG was awesome. So everything else was just, it could have been better. Felt a lot limited. So now, let's get to the CG now. So CG was pretty good. You get to see a whole bunch of different Terminator types. You get to see the huge giant one in action. There's no spoilers here, well, except for one maybe. There's no spoilers here. You get to see the T1, the very first Terminator unit, which is like this mini tank with 2 Gatling guns on the side. You get to see the T600s, the big huge hulking guys with the missile grenade launcher thing on one hand and the Gatling gun attached to the other hand. You see a whole bunch of units. You even see a production line of their new T-800, which we all know is the iconic Terminator unit in the first two movies. Speaking of which, no spoilers here, no spoilers for the story, but we do see a Governator cameo, so that was a good part. The action, of course. Okay, this is an action movie where you would expect. There's these kind of action movies. There's the action movies where it's just straight up action, and there's action movies where there's a good plot, and there's good action, but the action kind of falls into place. The action here, the plot, it was okay. The plot was good for this movie. Okay, the plot was good, but the action was just here and there, and there was no beginning to it. It was just kind of just happened, like it just, all right, let's film this part, boom, let's throw in the action kind of thing. So I don't know. The entire cinematography of the film could have been better. Camera angles, acting, but it's totally not the actor's fault. He had good line of actors, but it's just the director, the actors just felt so limited. Like all the actors in here, I've seen them do better roles. Like even John Connor's wife, who's has like all three of her names are like first names. She's the same chick that was in Spider-Man 3, the Chief's daughter, the hot blonde chick. Well, she had maybe she had a better role here. I don't know. Whatever. That's not important. But anyway, what is important is if you want to go see this movie, then go see it. Don't let my opinion stop you. Like I said, it's a great movie, though it's a great movie. It had a lot of potential, but it just didn't execute, and none of this is the actor's fault at all. You have good cast, just the writing, the script, the dialogue, everything was just it just felt so limited. I have to say that the last 30 minutes or the last half of this movie was probably the best. The beginning was probably just an introduction of who and what Marcus is. Obviously, the two main characters here are John Connor and Marcus Wright, but I think the real true character here was Marcus Wright, played by Sam Worthington, and he is one of the 2 or 3 good actors in this movie. So if you're gonna watch this movie, don't watch it for Christian Bale as John Connor. Watch it for Sam Worthington as Marcus Wright, and then you'll enjoy the movie a little bit better. Otherwise, let's say it one last time. There's nothing else more I have to say about this movie. It's a great movie. Could have been greater, given a better director. Mr. Charlie's Angels here just did not execute right. But still, don't let my opinion stop you. If you want to see it, go see it. It's still an enjoyable movie. Though, if you're a diehard Terminator fan, since the first, all the way up until now, if you thought the third one was disappointing, you probably think this one is just a few levels up higher than 3. Just still not as good as the first 2. That's my best way of describing this movie. But never let my opinion stop you. Anyway, this is Versus Z, and this has been a movie review for Terminator Salvation. And if you're watching this review, you are the Resistance.